Good evening. God is good. He gives me a word aimed at me, and I can aim this verse right down my throat. I'm in 2 Timothy chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 and verse 22. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22. Give you a minute to get there. This here speaks to me. He uses the word flee. Also, youthful lust. Flee. Flee, to me, I didn't look up the word flee, but flee to me means to run from. Get away from it. Run. I mean, walk away. Turn your head. Turn your back. Flee. Walk in the other direction. Run in the other direction. If the problem is over here on this side, instead of dwelling on this right here and dwelling on the youthful lust that is over here, and I know that there's something greater than that right there, that I can turn my head and look toward that direction, then I should be turning my back on that over there. Flee. Also, youthful lust. Now, we all think of the word lust as sexual. I'm a human being just like a lot of other people's a human being. I'm happily married, been married going on 30 years. Things ain't the same like they was when I got married before. When I got married 25 years ago, things ain't the same. My wife's not the same. I'm not the same. It doesn't mean that my mind doesn't think of things when I was younger. I remember, you take a old man in a nursing home, if he even has any kind of memory in the mind, he knows that the memory of the mind is still there, and he can still remember things that he did 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I don't think the Lord wants me to get things out of my mind that I used to do 25 years ago, but he's saying here, flee also youthful lust. Well, again, the youthful lust can be things that turns me away from righteousness. If righteousness is over here, but my face and my eyes and my attitude and my desire is to look in that direction, guess where my head's pointing? It's pointing that way. It's not pointing the way of righteousness, which is over here. See, look at the verse. Flee also youthful lust. Well, a youthful lust is always going to make you head towards something pretty or something beautiful. Your head's going to automatically go towards something beautiful. If I go into the kitchen and my wife makes banana pudding, I'm going to look toward the banana pudding because not only is it beautiful, it tastes good. So Paul was saying here to Timothy, flee also youthful lust. Now, granted, I didn't read the verse above it. I didn't even hardly read the verse below it. Because what stuck out to me was flee also youthful lust. If my mind is focused over here, rather than back this way, then my mind and my fleeing, I'm not. But he says to flee, run from, get away from. You know, we used to use electrical fence wire when I was farming a lot, and I would use electric fence to keep the cows in one area. It would make them want to eat grass in that particular area. It would help clean down the grass in that area before you moved them to another field. But you know what? That little tiny wire didn't have a chance if one decided to go through the fence to knock down the wire. Guess what all the other cows would do? All the other cows would walk behind that one. And if the electric wire didn't do any good, then the cows would be in the other field. See, the Bible says to flee also youthful lust. There's things you click on the internet. It happened to me today. Clicked on something and it took me to a place I had no idea it was taking me to. See, flee also youthful lust. Now, is he talking about other things? In verse 23, it's talking about, but foolish and unlearned questions avoid. See, he's going on past this one verse, but then it says, but follow righteousness. Well, if the beautiful lust is on this side, my mind should not be over here looking at this over here. My mind should be looking this way, totally ignoring that over there and looking toward righteousness. And my focus should be now looking toward righteousness instead of the garbage that I'm supposed to be fleeing over here. My eyes should not even have a desire to want to look over there. But see, I remember my youthful lust. I'm 63 years old. I remember when I got married and we got married in 1992. And we've been together this whole time. June to be 30 years. Am I able to forget what I did 30 years ago with my bride that I have now? I mean, I'm not the person, and she's not the person that she used to be. She was a little redhead, a little petite little redhead. But she's not the person that she used to be. I'm not the man that I used to be. I can tell you that now. But he says here, but follow righteousness. When you follow something, your focus is on what you're following. He says to flee this over here on this side, flee that over here on this side, but follow after righteousness. Because he says here, when I follow after righteousness, I'm looking at the things that the youthful lust don't show me. I will never be young again. I'm getting older every year. Then he goes on to say this, after you follow righteousness, you follow faith. If I'm not fleeing the lust over here on this side, am I following faith? No. But he says, he follows up here and says, follow faith. You know, there's a lot of users in the world today that need help. It says here to follow faith. Follow charity. Charity is not just giving money. Charity is giving of yourself. giving of love, charity. Follow peace. Peace. Can that youthful lust back over here on this side, can that give me peace? No, it gives me sadness, because I don't live back 30 years ago of things that I used to do 30 years ago. I can't do that 30 years ago. Is it wrong for my mind to think about what I did 30 years ago? Should my focus now be on righteousness? Should my focus be on faith and charity and peace? And you know what else it says? With them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So who should I be around? Them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Not out of a heart of lust. I wouldn't want to hear advice just giving me advice and somebody is sitting there fleeing and have a problem with fleeing youthful lust. I would rather with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. So who's going to help me? The ones that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. That's who I should be around. Listen to the verse. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace, with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Meaning the evidence of calling on the Lord out of a pure heart is they being righteous. They having faith. Those people have charity. Those people have peace. They're not hung up on the flesh, on the lust. He says here, flee also youthful lust. There's really not a whole lot of need for me to think about the past. But you know what? Am I dead yet? No. My body is still alive. Do I still like attention? Do I still like to have my back scratched? Do I like to have my hair rubbed? Do I like to be held? Does my wife like to be held? I mean, I don't want to get so graphic, but I'm 63 years old. I'm not dead. My wife's not dead. Sometimes I wonder if we're living a life of death, but I don't feel dead right now. Even though I'm limited to what I can do, I don't feel death right this moment. Am I appointed to die? Yes. Yes. So this verse here is not so much for everybody out there. Maybe this verse here is just for my reminder that the youthful lust, I should be fleeing. I should be running away. I should have my head turned toward righteousness of God and peace and charity and faith with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. I should be looking toward all of that rather than looking at the youthful lust. The youthful lust, believe me, is eye-catching. It's eye-catching. But God's wanting my eyes to be looking this way. I hope that you get what I'm trying to say today. Maybe this may be not just for me. Maybe it might be for somebody else that might be having a situation that they need to examine as well. I believe it's time that we look. What are we looking at? Are we looking at youthful lust? Is that where we're happy at? No, I would rather follow righteousness. See, I haven't seen where righteousness takes me yet. I don't see the outcome. It's like me going to California. I can see pictures of Los Angeles. I can see pictures of the Western state. I can go into wine country. I can go into the beach scene. I can go into all of that. But you know what? I haven't seen it firsthand. Oh, I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen it firsthand. See, I haven't seen this place of righteousness far as front and center. Oh, I've seen the flesh over here. I've seen the youthful flesh, things that I can't do anymore. I've seen the youthful flesh. I've already lived that life. I haven't seen what is beyond out there in front of me on this side of the righteousness on this side. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the faith that it's going to take me to in the front side. I haven't seen the charity of what it is that lays ahead of me. I haven't seen the peace that only God can give on the front side. It's so easy to turn your head to the lustful flesh. And you're never content when you're looking at the lustful flesh. There's just something that don't make you happy. Oh, it might turn you on for a minute or two, but it takes away from the peace that is on this side. The peace that's on this side, it takes you away from the charity. It takes you away from the faith. It takes away from the righteousness. And it also takes you away from the following. Because he said, but follow righteousness. Meaning in right standing with God. What I need to do is make sure that my eyes look toward the righteousness of God, so that I can have the faith and the charity and the peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. I need to be around people of purity rather than somebody that might be like me, that might have a situation where lust rears its ugly head. That's what it's saying to me anyway. I hope this verse might even be talking to you. I know it talks to me. Elderly ministry is how you get a hold of me here. I'd love to communicate with you if you'd like to talk. Elderly Ministry is the website. You can also go to YouTube. This is YouTube right here. You can download YouTube, get the phone number, and look me up. Be glad to talk with you. I can tell you right now, I don't have all the answers, but I have the answer. The answer is the author of righteousness. That is the answer. And you know, when you have to learn things over and over and over again, you have to ask yourself, why are you having to learn things over and over and over? Because the flesh is over here. The lust of the eyes is over here. The lust of things that I can't do anymore is over here. And it rears its ugly head. But the more I look in that direction, which one is more weightier to God? This over here on this side is weightier to God, or is this weightier to God? far as the direction of righteousness and faith and charity and peace. Again, look me up. If I can help you, I'll be glad to talk with you anytime. Just leave a number and I'll get back with you. Okay? Thank y'all for tuning in.